I'm going to be ranking the best free cards right now in NBA 2K23 My Team. We do have a tier list here ranking from S that goes all the way down to D tier, and we have about 26 of the best free cards in my team right now. Now, I did post a free card tier list, I think only like 3 or 4 days ago, I think on like Tuesday or Monday, but as you guys know, we got Spotlight Sims, and that just added so many cards to obviously rank on a tier list, and just some other cards that I forgot to put, and some new cards as well, besides just the Spotlight cards. I want to give you guys an updated best card tier list, and to show you guys, who are the best free cards and where I would rank them. But let me know in the comment section down below, of course, what you guys would change about my tier list, and let me know obviously your favorite free cards in my team. But looking at Victor Oladipo, I think he's probably going to be in B tier. He is the new takeover card that just came out yesterday. I think he's a solid point guard. He is 6'4" with a 6'9" wingspan. What Victor Oladipo brings for you on the table is definitely going to be his defense. He's got a 96 steal, 94 lateral quickness with a 92 perimeter. Now, it is a little bit annoying that he only does have a 59 block, but honestly in game you don't really get too many block animations anyway, so I don't think that's really a big flaw for the card. He's going to be really good at getting to the rim, having a 95 driving dunk, 94 vertical. Victor obviously gets some really good dunking animations. Like, he just always dunks the ball really well in my team, but they've definitely messed him over. If you guys look at the animation screen, you can see they gave him no good dribble sigs, like the pro size up, the pro dribble style, the pro size up, like the Kevin Durant escape. It's not terrible, but he just doesn't have really any great sigs. They also didn't give him his jump shot on quick timing, when nowadays every card in the game has their jump shot on quick, especially a point guard. So I will say, if he had his jump shot on quick timing and had some better dribble sigs, he would easily be in the A tier category. But unfortunately, he's a really good card stats and badges wise, so I really wish he had updated stats or updated jump shot and updated sigs, but unfortunately I do think he's gonna have to be in the B tier category. Trevor Ariza is an interesting one. I think he's probably actually an A tier. He's a really good free card. He's actually a very solid all-around small forward. Like, he's going to give you some really good defense. He's 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan, and he's just a great overall small forward. There's nothing really too much to be said with Trevor Ariza. Like, he just does everything very well, right? You can see pretty much 90 in every single important category. Also 86 block, 88 interior defense. He's got some nice Hall of Fame badges, limitless takeoff, posterizer for the finishing. He's got Hall of Fame catch and shoot, corner specialist, clamp breaker, quick first step, defensively clamps, interceptor, off ball pass, post lockdown. I mean, there's nothing really to be said other than he's just a very good all-around small forward, and I think probably in the A tier category. Now, Bam Adebayo, you guys might think this is really low, but for me, I just don't think Bam provides that much on the court to you, except for like some okay defense. Nice voice crack. He's a 6'9", at the power forward spot, so a little bit undersized, and just doesn't really stand out to me. Like, his defensive stats aren't anything too crazy. He does have some amazing Hall of Fame defensive badges, I will say. That is really nice on the card, but besides that, he just doesn't really stand out for me. Doesn't have any good dribble sigs. His jump shots are normal timing, no normal leaner. Yes, he's, going to be a solid defender, but for me, I just think there's way better free cards in my team, especially with those new spotlight cards, like a guy like Cedi Osman. I think Cedi's probably in that A tier category. A very good all-around shooting guard. I think you could even argue Cedi in the S tier category. Baron Davis, I think just like Victor Oladipo, very similar at the point guard spot. I think Baron is probably a little bit better just because he's got better sigs and his jump shot on quick timing, and stats wise, about the same, maybe actually a little bit better on the defensive side of things, and obviously better going to the rim as well. So for me, Baron Davis, I think is actually a super underrated point guard. Like, if you take a look at these stats and these badges as well, like, he looks to be very well complete at the point guard spot. And then animations wise, he's got his jump shot on quick timing, so he's got a good release. It's Damian Lillard base, which is a good base. On quick timing is going to be pretty fast. He's got the normal leaner, and he's got some pretty good sigs like the MJ dribble style, Baron Davis size up, and the Kobe escape. If this was the exact same thing but on Victor Oladipo, he would probably be in the A tier, maybe even S tier category. That's just the only thing Victor's really missing, but I think they're both very similar. I'm gonna go Baron also in the B tier category. Dennis Johnson, though, I think is gonna be an A tier. Like, a lot of these spotlight sim cards, guys, are just absolutely amazing. Now, I did kind of only put the best spotlight cards, but Dennis Johnson is super elite, and I think a little bit better at the point guard spot compared to guys like Baron Davis and Victor Oladipo as well. Now, this is a little bit unfortunate for me to say, but I think Donovan Mitchell gonna have to be in the B tier category, even though that I love using Donovan Mitchell, and he's still my starting point guard on my team, and I just love using this card in game. He's so fun to use, and I think he's still super underrated, but I think he's gonna have to be in the B tier category. I mean, a guy like Dennis Johnson is just a little bit better. He's got better sigs. He's probably got a better jump shot, to be fair. He's a better defender. He's taller. He's probably even better, going to the rim. So for me, I think Dennis Johnson just does pretty much everything better than a guy like D-Mitch. But honestly, I would still take D-Mitch over Victor Oladipo and Baron Davis as well. Now, Tyreek Evans, I'm super high on this card. I know some people aren't. We've got a lot of point guards just in a row, by the way, like Dennis Johnson, Baron Davis, Victor, D. Mitch, now Tyreek Evans. Like, that's a lot of point guards in a row, but I do think he's actually really, really nice, and I'm actually super high on the card. I know some people aren't the biggest fan of him because of his defensive stats, but our defensive badges, and I guess his stats as well. But for me, I think he's super elite. For whatever reason, he just plays super nice in game. He's 6'6", has a great jump shot, really good playmaking badges. I think he's probably a top 5 free card in the game, because if you guys don't know, S tier is going to be my top 5 free cards. So yeah, I'd probably put Tyreek Evans in the S tier category. Now, Damian Lillard, easily going to be in D tier. Probably one of the worst free cards in my team right now, at least that came out in the past, like, month. I would say he's probably the worst one, or one of the worst, like, that's actually considered to be on a free card tier list. Just don't think Dame's really that good. No good dribble six, plays terrible defense. I think he's probably going to be in D tier. DeAndre Hunter, I think, is actually in C tier. Honestly, I know a lot of people do like this card stats and badges wise, but his jump shot is absolutely horrendous that I can't put him higher than C tier, man. If he had a good jump shot, like if he had a jump shot like just a little bit, or not just a little bit, but has jump shot faster, I would say he's probably B or A tier category. His jump shot is just damn near unusable. Now, Sean Kemp, I do think is a little bit better than a guy like Bam. If you wanted to throw him and Bam on the same tier, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna throw him and Bam on the same tier. I think they're I'm gonna go Kemp a little bit higher. I'm gonna go Kemp in B tier. I do think he is slightly better than a guy like Bam Adebayo. Tony Kukoc. Lord, I can't say that man's name right now, but yeah, Tony Kukoc, I do think is also going to be in C tier. He honestly, I was very, very excited when they did announce him, but if you look at his stats, he's just very underwhelming. Like, he's got like pretty much 85, 87 in every single category. He just doesn't really stand out and doesn't have the best of, like, 6. His jump shot's decent, doesn't have the normal leaner. I think for me, honestly, Tony Kukoc gonna be in that C tier category. Another C tier card is gonna be Kyrie Irving. I think he's a lot better than a guy like Dame. Like, Dame is terrible, man. Kyrie is at least usable on the court, and you can actually have a lot of success with this card. I don't think he's on the same level as like a Baron Davis or a Victor Oladipo or a D. Mitch, of course, but I still think Kyrie Irving is actually pretty solid. I'm gonna throw him in the C tier category. Pink Diamond Larry Nance, easily gonna be an A tier, a very underrated small forward. He's just elite in the game. Like, for the meta of the game, he's an amazing rim runner. He plays really good defense, has a very solid jump shot. So for me, I think Larry Nance gonna be in the A tier spot. Oluwaseyi, I kind of want to put in the S tier category. He's actually super elite, but for now, I'm gonna keep him in A tier. Zach LaVine, I think, is probably in B tier. A very underrated free card, I will say. I know he's not really living up to the level 40 hype and the level 40 expectations, but I will say, like, for a free card that doesn't take that long to get, I mean, at least when he first dropped, he's not that bad. Like, he's a fun card to use. I think that's the most important thing when we're talking about Zach LaVine, is going to be the fun factor involved. Like, he's just so fun to use in game because he's got a really good jump shot. He's amazing at going to the rim. He's going to be getting so many contact dunk animations, and he's not even that bad defensively. He's got Hall of Fame limitless range, so you can pull from pretty much the logo. So I do think, honestly, as a card in general, I think he's probably going to be in B tier, a very slept on free card, but I do understand why people don't like him, because he's a level 40. He should be a lot better, even, 2 to 3 weeks, or maybe 4 weeks into the season by now. Galaxy KG, I think, obviously going to be in the S tier category, probably the best power forward in my team right now, even over guys like Chet, Dirk and Yee, and I do think is probably like a top 3 to 5 card in my team. So for me, I think Kevin Garnett easily going to be in the S tier category. JaVale McGee is an interesting one. I kind of want to put him A tier, but I think the fair spot is probably B. I think he's a solid center, and I think Miles Turner is probably also in B. Miles Turner might be in A tier though. Yeah, I'm gonna throw Miles Turner in A tier because he does have the versatility to also play the power forward position. Him at center, I think, is comparable to a guy like JaVale McGee, but he can also play power forward, so that kind of does add a factor as well. So I think Miles Turner going to be in the A tier category. Paul Pierce, this might be a little bit crazy to say, but I think Paul Pierce is an A tier because I'm kind of looking at the cards in B, and I would take Paul Pierce over Zach LaVine at the shooting guard spot, and I think he's a better card than most of these guys in B tier. I think Paul Pierce is actually super elite. Another A tier card is going to be OG Anunoby, very similar and very comparable to a guy like Trevor Ariza. They both give you some amazing defense, right? Both going to be great defenders. They have great jump shots. I think they're very similar in a lot of ways, and I think OG is slightly better than Trevor Ariza, but very similar at the small forward position. Willis Reed, I think, is actually going to be an A tier as well. I think he's a super underrated power forward because of his jump shot. Like, on paper, he might not look to be that great of a card. He's a 6'10" power forward, 7'1" wingspan. His stats don't really stand out to me, but his jump shot in game, there's no way this card has a 77 3 ball. He knocks down way more shots than his stats and badges would show for 3-point rating, but for whatever reason, this Willis Reed card plays so elite in game, and I think he's actually going to be in the A tier category. Galaxyable Yi, 1000% going to be an S tier, very similar to a guy like Kevin Garnett. I mean, they were like the final grinds for, you know, whatever you have to do for them, like KG for the spotlights, and then obviously Yi for the takeover grind. So easily, both of these cards going to be an S tier. I don't think anybody would even question that. Rocco, I think is a very solid card. I mean, the fact that this Robert Covington card can play the shooting guard position does add a lot of value and very interesting at the shooting guard spot, because he's 6'7" with a 7'2" wingspan. He's going to play some really good defense to kind of guard those guys like Vince Carter, Terry Dishinger, Dr. J. Like, he's a very good matchup. He provides some really good defense going up against those really good offensive shooting guards. So I think Rocco is probably actually in B tier. Between him and Zach LaVine, I'd probably still go Zach LaVine, but I definitely think a fair comparison. I think Rocco super underrated as a diamond. Diamond Wang ZZ, I think is probably going to be in B tier. I'm not as high on this card as a lot of people are. I think he's very comparable to guys like, you know, JaVale McGee, Miles Turner at the center position, but I would take Miles Turner over him at center, and I think I would also take JaVale McGee slightly over a guy like Wang ZZ. And then finally, Galaxyable Andrew Wiggins, easily going to be in the S tier category. I will say I think this Wiggins card is also super slept on. I know we did just get yesterday the Galaxyable Scottie Pippen, who is legit just a better Andrew Wiggins, but for a free card, I think he's actually super nice, man. He's just a little bit worse Scottie Pippen. I think jump shot wise, obviously Pippen has the better release, but I will say offensively, I like Wiggins a little bit more just because of his ability to get to the rim. He's got Hall of Fame claim breaker, quick first step, handles for days. He's got that 98 driving dunk, 98 vertical, and does get some really good dunk animation. So for me, I think Wiggins going to be in the S tier category, probably like number 4 and number 5 in my top 5. I think he's better than a guy like Tyreek Evans. Now, guys, we do have to move 2 of these free cards from A, or no, sorry, we have to move 1 of these free cards from A tier into S tier, and this is a really tough decision. I think I'm leaning towards Oluwakandi, because the fact that he's super versatile in the sense that he's a really good power forward, but he can also be very nice at center. So I think for that reason, I'm probably going to go with Oluwakandi, but I think honestly Cedi Osman's a shout. I think Miles Turner is really good, OG, even guys like Paul Pierce, Larry Nance. I think all of these cards could be considered in the S tier category, but let me know in the comment section down below, what would you guys change about my free card tier list, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.